protected by steep cliffs on the north and east sides, and a great ditch cut through bedrock, protecting it on the landward side to south and west. Little survives from the original St Andrew's Castle of the 11 and 1200s. During the Wars of Independence from 1296 to 1357, the castle was taken by the English and retaken by the Scots several times before being razed to the ground in 1337, and from 1337 to 1400 the castle was derelict and used as a tannery. Rebuilding of the castle took place in the 15th and 16th centuries. St Andrew's Castle was the main residence of the bishops and later the archbishops of St Andrews. They were the leading churchmen in Scotland, and many had a dual role. In his religious role, he was responsible for conducting services, consecrating churches, and providing moral leadership. In his noble capacity, the bishop was a great landowner and close adviser to the king. Some bishops were also knights, who could be called on to raise armies and fight for their king. Dignitaries were lavishly entertained here, and others, less fortunate, were imprisoned in the Bottle Dungeon. After the assassination of Cardinal Beaton for his role in the trial and execution of Protestant preacher George Wishart, and during the siege of 1546-47, Cardinal Beaton's body was thrown into the Bottle Dungeon and covered with salt so that it wouldn't stink. John Knox, the great Protestant reformer, was involved in the siege of the castle as a defender, and was captured and sentenced to serve as a French galley slave before returning a few years later to play a pivotal role in the Reformation. It was during the siege that the government troops started to mine under the castle, and the defending troops had to countermine to prevent them. You can still see the pick marks on the walls. After a couple of false starts, the defenders were able to stop the government troops. However, eventually the defenders were overtaken by government troops. St Andrew's Castle was left without a resident or purpose when bishops were abolished in 1592, and it fell rapidly into ruin. In 1801, the Great Hall collapsed, with most of it falling into the sea, leaving what we now see as the remains of St Andrew's Castle. If you are enjoying this video, then please consider subscribing and hit the bell icon to be notified when future videos are released. Thank you.